In today's video, I'm going to be tackling the Krios strike tank from the new Mechanicum support box, and I'm going to share with you something that I wish I knew before I started the whole process. Let's get into it. So this is the new strike tank for the Mechanicus. It is, of course, a beautiful, beautiful kit. I got it all assembled, minus the sponsons. I actually didn't touch the sponsons for this entire video. They kind of got forgotten and left to the side. I'd love to paint them on a later date and glue them on, so please forgive me for that. Once the model was constructed, I gave it a coat of Chaos Black, and then I gave it a nice dusting of lead belcher spray. You could easily just dry brush the whole tank silver if you wanted to, but just to save a little bit of time, I decided to go with silver. Now, I've done two previous videos on painting up the new Mechanicum stuff for the Horus Heresy, the large transport tank and one of the larger scale robots before, and I did them in two very different styles. The big tank was airbrushed, and then the other one was contrast. So this one I decided to go with standard layering paint. So I'm just going to apply Mephisto on red and then work my way up through the reds, paint golds, a couple of shades, some oxiding, that kind of stuff, to give you guys basically three different ways it's possible to paint up a miniature. And you can choose from those three videos which one suits you more and then paint it that way. Now, obviously, step one was starting to block in all the red. And man, that's where the problems began. I have never in my life thought about sub-assembling a tank before. I'm not really a big fan of sub-assembly. Every miniature I do pretty much has all of its components glued on, unless it's really necessary. And I really didn't think it through before gluing this entire tank together. And like I said, it's one of the first times ever that I really regretted it. It was an extremely difficult, I would even say impossible tank to get all the details painted. And I don't even mean all the details, I mean even all the visible details. The section between the track assembly and the main body, those cog wheels, all those armor panels, everything like that, is clearly visible when you look down on this tank, yet it is absolutely impossible to get a brush at. So I do recommend that you leave this thing in, I'd say 5, maybe 6 separate pieces. I would leave each of the track assemblies off, have the main body off, and even those big cogged wheels on the very outside of the tracks, I would leave as separate pieces. This way you will be able to get access to the rest of the miniature and do a slightly better paint job than perhaps I was able to do with this model. I'm hoping that you haven't constructed the model and then you're looking for a video on how to paint it and you've kind of gone past that point already. If you have, I'm really sorry. But you'll notice that a lot of the center of this model for me, especially when you look kind of front on, is going to remain silver. And that's purely because I just couldn't get at the rest of it to do as much red as I would have liked. So as you can see, I've gotten the main body Mephisto on red. I've added in the Retributor armor gold for all of the nice trim, all those accent bits, lots of the control panels for that servitor. And then I'm going to throw a Seraphim sepia wash across the entire thing. You can of course do this with a brush. I just decided to save a little bit of time and throw it in my airbrush and give it a quick spray all over, just to darken all those coppery bits down, all the metallic bits down, and shade down that red really nicely before I started moving on to the layering stage of this beast. This is the shade after it's been fully dried, and I think it's a really nice part, like state, to start working up from. And this is where the order of operation is kind of important. So I grabbed lead belcher and I'm going to be dry brushing all the metallic parts of this, including quite a heavy dry brush on the tracks. The tracks didn't go as bright as I would have wanted to, so later on I do hit them with an even brighter dry brush, but for now we're going to focus on this one. As you can see, I'm feeding the brush in very roughly into the kind of inner sections of the track assembly because I do want to get those bits highlighted and I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it. I then let a dry brush across pretty much the rest of the model. Catching all that gold is going to add a nice little highlight to it. And it doesn't really matter which parts of the red I hit with a dry brush because I am going to spend some time brush layering up all that red anyway, so there's no real worries there. So I decided to use Evil Sun's Scarlet to layer up this tank. I took my time. This did take 2 coats on some of the areas, some of the flatter coats that are going to be kind of more prevalent to the eye. I spent a little bit of time on, and when the first coat was fully dry, I did go on and add a second coat just to shore up the color, if you will, because obviously the bright red colors are quite weak in pigment, so it does take a little bit more work to get them to work. And this is another thing, if I had somehow figured out how to paint the inside areas of this red, the bits that are really hard to reach, it would have been almost impossible to layer them correctly and make them match the rest of the tank. So I'm glad I just left them silver, obviously for this particular purpose, but I would have preferred it to be sub-assembly and painted correctly. But what are you gonna do? Live and learn, or watch and learn, hopefully. Another thing that I'm quite partial to is transfers. I love a good transfer. I think a transfers can make a miniature, especially if you're painting it in a mediocre fashion or speed painting or army painting or that kind of thing. Adding a nice transfer to it really does like pump a model up. And there's very few places on this model where it would have been possible to apply a transfer, so I did just leave them off for this one, which is a little bit unfortunate. I would have liked to add some somewhere. This is where I like to add a little bit extra pop of color, so I went for the Nilic Oxide. I do like the idea of all of these beautiful Mechanicum vehicles being relics. These are ancient, these are worshipped. And that's why there's so much gold and ornamentation. These are holy icons to Mechanicum. Each one is cherished and looked after quite well. So there is going to be some oxidization built up in certain areas because they are so old. And I think I just went overboard with the oxidization, but not by mistake. Like, I deliberately. I quite like that extra splash of that kind of patina turquoisey color. And I fed it into all the grooves and all the little like areas where water would gather, all the bolts and rivets and flat areas, all those kind of things, which I think really helped elevate the model and make it stand out. I especially like going in for all the bolts and then dragging it down a little bit as if some old, you know, crusty water and stuff has dripped down the tank a little bit, added a little bit of extra spot of color. Took very little time to do, but I think it added a little bit. This made up for the lack of transfers, that extra splash of color that I think it might have needed. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is now, some of it was just a little bit dark, especially those tracks like I talked about earlier. So I grabbed an iron breaker out and I gave the dry brush across the tracks. I went quite heavy on the tracks, and by heavy, I mean like I put a lot of pressure on just to make sure it did kind of pump those tracks up a little bit. And then a much lighter dry brush across the rest of the tank, catching all those sharp edges, adding a little bit of chipping and a little bit of weathering and stuff to the tank. Like I said, it is a relic tank, but it is a frontline battle tank. It is out there in the hellish 41st millennium, getting shot at constantly and, you know, treading its way through horrible alien worlds and through crazed cities and stuff like that. So it's not going to be a pristine tank, and I despise pristine tanks in Warhammer 40k. Everything should be chipped and damaged and weathered, at least in my humble opinion. Obviously, I spent a little bit of time painting the driver as well. Red robes, gold trim, some black for the cloth and pipework and stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but it did the job. Now, with the model almost entirely done, I decided to then work on which I thought was going to be the main focus of this video, which is, of course, what is it called? The weathering on the barrel, the muzzle burn, if that's the correct term for it. Obviously, I've seen it done. A lot of painters like to do that. So I looked up some guys. I went for Seraphim Sepia, Magos Purple, and Leviathan Blue. And 3 colors that I'm going to try and emulate. And like I said, I really wanted this to be the main focus of this particular video, showing you guys how to do this. And I don't think I did a bad job. I think I picked a bad model to it. If the barrel was like straighter, didn't have that ridged area, I may have been able to work up that style a little bit better. There wasn't enough space in just that kind of fluted end that exists on this tank. So I gave it a shot. You guys can let me know in the comments whether you think I did a good job or whether I did a bad job or so on and so forth. I think I'll definitely try and teach you guys how to do it properly again on a different video with a bit more of a suitable barrel. Speaking of future videos, if you guys have been enjoying this video, make sure to do those 3 things that you should do for every video you watch on every creator channel if you enjoy them, which is like the video, ask me any questions and drop those in the comments, and make sure you subscribe. Those 3 things cost you absolutely nothing, but make a huge difference to how many people get to see our videos. If you enjoy the content a lot and want to support Mediocre Hobbies and creating bigger and crazier videos, the best way to do that is, of course, through Patreon and becoming a channel member. Those are both linked down in the description below. With those, you get access to a private Discord server. You can talk to me about your hobby daily basis. can also take part in all of the different events we hold over there, whether it's painting competitions or our monthly showcases. And of course, you get an extra video every single week just for you guys. So if that sounds like something that interests you, like I said, check those out, linked down in the description below. Thank you for all my existing channel members and Patreons. Without you, I could not continue doing this. So thank you so much. Okay, that's what I ended up with, my first ever attempt at muzzle burn. What do you guys think? Did I make it look good or did I ruin the tank? That's up to you. You guys can be the judge of that. But this is my finished new strike tank for the Mechanicum. I'm really pleased with the final result. It was quite a treat to paint. I've got a couple more bits and pieces from that big box set to paint. If you guys are keen on seeing those, please do let me know in the comments below. And if there's any other cool Horus Heresy stuff that you're interested in, please do let me know as well, so that I know what videos to plan moving forward.